These cars, they are cars. Maybe the fastest road-going machines in the world. They'll never take anybody anywhere. They'll never go from one place to another. They'll just travel around the tight little circuits. Racetracks in Europe, America, all over the world. There are maybe 50 men in the world, maybe not so many, who can drive cars like this, as fast and as well as they can be driven. When these men get together to find out which of them is fastest, the event is called the Grand Prix race. Grand Prix, Grand Prize, an event in the World Championship for drivers.
I think I was very, very young, I think 7 years old, and we used to live with my father, my mother and my brother in Ibiza. And always when friends came with rent the car, we were waiting and they leave the keys in, we took them.
It was a Volkswagen Beetle of my father, and I drove it somewhere on a little road in the Eifel Mountains, and I didn't have a driving license.
But the third time we stole the car, I think we destroyed it.
My first memory is very, very many years ago when I was 4 years old, and I've been in the school and kindergarten, and I remember this guy with his red car.
Well, my first memory about a racing car is quite early on my age. It's around 83. I was 5 years old, and it's about rally cars in Portugal. I went to see the Portuguese rally with my dad, being very little, and it was the time of Group B cars.
I have just this image in my mind, which I don't know why I kept for many, many years.
They sounded amazing, and that boosted my passion for motorsport.
I think, my first memory of driving a racing car, was actually pretty scary. After driving a kart, which is quite small, quite light, and then suddenly driving something so much bigger with more power.
And I could just hear the Formula 1 cars in free practice, and I just ran as fast as I could.
In 1961, as a little boy at the Nürburgring, and it was Stirling Moss winning the race ahead of 2 Ferraris.
Well, actually live when my brother was driving Formula 1 in '94. The first time I visited him in Hungary, I think, I remember.
I was following my dad, who was founding our team, the Prima Power team, in the racing in Italy, so I was a kid.
The first test I ever did was in the age of 16 at the Nürburgring with the Formula Junior at the time. Yeah, it was exciting coming from kart into a Formula car. Was a very nice experience.
From the moment in which we are born, we know what it will be. It's there, in its configuration, in its people, in the objects. Nothing in randomness may replace the enclosed space of our childhood, where something happened that made us different and still endures. A path to the top, to success. A success that never comes alone. a success that we must work hard and consistently to achieve.
My biggest supporters and my most thankful supporters were my family growing up in karting. I mean, they gave everything in their life for me to do what I had to do.
Obviously, my parents and my father, who is a big motorsport fan and always has been, and he was the one that got me into karting and into motorsport. You know, he just from a young age thought it'd be a good idea for me to start karting, and that's what I started doing.
Well, I have to say, you know, my parents, although my father never liked that we were doing motor racing, he always said stop because he's not a fan of motor racing. But still, you know, they did everything possible to support us. And we were very lucky in finding people that had the financial power to support what we were doing. So I have to say, well, it was my parents and Mr. Weber at the time, Willy Weber, he really, you know, helped us a lot, both of us, to get where we are.
After a few years, I got spotted by a team, the Zip Kart racing team, and Martin Hines, who picked me up and you know, he really drove me forward. He was a real supporter of my talent, and you know, his belief was that I was better than everybody else out there, and you need that. You know, you need people to believe in you. You know, totally 100%.
First of all, you have to trust in yourself. If you trust in yourself, then you have to show other people that they can trust in you. Yeah, very, very basic, very important thing.
In the whole life, trust is very important, and to believe into somebody, whether it's your family, whether it's your colleague, whether it's your employee. And I think without a team and support around you that believes in you, then you won't get anywhere.
You need to have the trust from the people around you, because as well, a part of the success is not only the single, but it's the work. It's the work of the group, and if the group doesn't work together and doesn't trust each other, you cannot succeed on anything.
First of all, I think a driver has to lead a team completely. It starts on motivation, it starts on little details, it starts on communication. And team, at the end, you trust your team, the team trusts you, you have to trust your team, otherwise you don't have success, and for safety reasons as well. So I think it's the most important thing, that drivers really live with the team, that they understand the team, that the team understands the driver is the most important thing. To have success in motorsport in general, it's a very, very important thing, which today I think they forget a bit. This little family work, which is very, very important.
You need the support when it runs well, but you also need the support when it doesn't run well. And you know, sport on a high professional level can be not always being in the winner's circle, being on the podium. It's sometimes running in a disappointing way, and then you have to recover, and you need people behind you who trust you.
I think it's a really important thing to have people around you and being involved with people that have confidence in your ability and can, you know, still have confidence when you don't do, you know, maybe such a good job or you have a bad day, because that helps you get over it and get on with doing well in the future.
The path to success is not always available for everybody. Besides being supported by a family, there's a time when exceptions have to be made.
To the point where that was it. We had no more money left in the family to take me to the next step, and luckily I was at the right place at the right time and had a race to remember, and Red Bull picked me up as a part of their development program, and I spent 5 years with them.
To become part of highest level of competition, big teams recruit their best drivers through their youth support programs.
So actually the first time I met Danny, he was about this big. A little kid racing in Formula BMW, and yeah, he was great then, and we stayed in contact ever since. So we were both on the Red Bull Junior team in 2009.
My first remind of Danny with the cars was in karting. Normally in my family we have a lot of tradition on motorsports. I always took my other three boys to test in a kart, in a simple tourist karting. And normally, all of them, the other three, the elder sons, were not too good. There were some of them had some ability, but I wanted them to understand how karting was and how racing was. And the test was that I was going behind them, and I overtook them. And then they were behind me, and I tried to show them how to go through the corners. And with Danny, it was really something extraordinary because I could not overtake him. And I thought I'm becoming too old, but then I realized that he was doing very well and never had tried before. And he was about maybe 6, 7 years old. And then I thought, well, this guy has something really special. And this is how the whole story began.
Danny, as a teammate and more importantly as a friend, he's just a very good person. You know, everything that he does, you can trust him. You know, there's some teammates that I've had in the past and some drivers that I've raced against in the past where if they tell you, oh yeah, I'm full throttle in turn 6, you kind of think like, are you really? You know, but with Danny, I mean, we have, maybe because we have a relationship that goes back before DTM, you know, I think we have that respect for each other. We're both champions in junior categories. You know, so we both can just respect each other for what we've accomplished and yeah, just move on as teammates. And I think we've had a very strong start to our DTM careers and yeah, it'd be cool to work with him more in the future.
The first thing that got my attention on Danny was his finesse and his technique driving, really. When he first tested the Formula BMW at around 16 years old, he was really fast but really smooth and really had perfect technique in terms of braking, downshift, and even the steering inputs were really, really good.
He was very relaxed when he was inside the team, and this was also a kind of reference for the youngest because they could see a calm driver with a natural approach in way of working, and this for sure helped us to let the young drivers understand how you can achieve certain results.
In the history of Danny in the racing, I really think that I'm a little different to other fathers because normally they believe in the son and they think he's the best, just because he's your son. I think there are 3 conditions that the character of the son has to have, which is talent, passion, and hard work. And Danny showed me that he had a strong talent. He had a real passion since he was very young because he was always asking me, I want to go racing cars, I want to race cars. And I said, no, forget, we will go. You can, when you are able to pay yourself, you will do racing, but you have to go to school, you have to learn, study and good notes, and then you will do racing when you are old if you want. Oh, but I need to do that because otherwise I will lose the opportunity and I would like to become a racing driver. And I say, oh, forget, but okay, we will try.
He's really clever, he's really smart, he's really educated, thanks to his family for sure. And all his education is permitting him to performance on the highest level, and that's something really important. He knows about the car, he knows how to discuss with the people, he knows how to approach, and that's of course something really important.
He's very mature for his age. He's a very calm and quiet person that I enjoy. He listens, he never complains, and he's a driver that you can really easily work with. I have to say it was a very nice year so far, and he has done a good job, a very good job from where he's coming.
I've always thought that if you do something, you have to do it really well, especially in sports. Otherwise, better you stay home and do other things. But in motorsports, you have to be the best or one of the 3, 4, 5 best in the world. Otherwise, it's useless. You are losing your time. When we start doing karting, I didn't send him to race in local karting races where it was quite easy for him to win. We decided that he should be going to Italy, which is the most difficult races for karting because it's where everybody goes. All the international drivers start in Italy racing cars.
He's very analytical, he's intelligent, he draws the right conclusions out of situations, out of races, And what I think is a landmark of his is he can read a race. He always improves during a race. There are drivers who are quick in qualifying and then there is no improvement, maybe even they go further back. With him, sometimes even if he qualifies badly, he makes the best out of the situation and improves throughout the race because he has a good feeling where he is during a race and what he can achieve and how he can handle the tires, which is very essential. So I think he has most of the ingredients you need to be on such a high professional level.
Currently competing in a German Touring Car Masters DTM, in which he got his first podium at the Nürburgring circuit. There are steps towards success and the achievement of a dream and a fight. His fight: get to compete at the highest level. Third in the Formula 3 Euro Series. Third in the FIA Formula 3 International Trophy. First Spanish driver to win the prestigious Macau Grand Prix. First in the Formula 3 Euro Series. First in the FIA European Formula 3 Championship. First in the Masters of Formula 3. Fourth Spanish driver to get in an F1 car from Scuderia Ferrari.
He won everything that he could have won in F3, and F3 is the main category of formation of a racing driver. So normally we said that if you win here, you are good enough to win the Formula 1 World Championship. And that's what he did. He won European F3, the FIA Cup, he won the Masters, and he won the Macau Grand Prix. No other driver in the world achieved this, and even more because he did all that within 1 year. And I can say that in the last couple of years, he was clearly the fastest driver in this category, in F3, worldwide. The support of Mercedes was really important because he had good engines. The team also did a good job. And of course, the financial support and sponsorship from Astana played a key role in allowing Danny to develop as a racing driver without being worried with the budget issues.
You cannot reach Formula 1 without a supporting of money, and also is a technical developer, such as Mercedes. For example, in the case of Daniel, we have had Astana, which has supported him since Formula 3. Also Mercedes, they have their own development program, which has rise stars such as Michael Schumacher, Ralf Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Paul Di Resta. And obviously to get to this development program, you have to be talented and you have to show this talent.
Well, the job of a racing driver today is obviously not only driving. I mean, first of all, you have the marketing issue, which is really important because that gives us the platform, the money to be able to do what we are doing.
To be honest, I mean, without sponsors, none of us would be here. Motorsports, I think, wouldn't exist if it wasn't for sponsors and great people who are also passionate about motorsports.
The success is not achieved with luck, is the result of an effort and constant support. Optimism and vitality provoke the necessary feeling to believe in you and your potential. The sum of all this is the real champion.
I think it's very essential for a young driver to have support of an influential partner. On one side of a car manufacturer or a big team, on the other side of a commercial sponsor like Astana. And I think that Danny is very lucky to have both. In his early Formula 3 career, he was supported when he drove engines, which we provided for a special fee, which was not so big for the team, and that helped. And on the other hand, to find a sponsor like Astana is something exceptional for a young driver, because that can support him throughout his career up to the highest accolades.
I remember in one of the races, I think it was the second race he did in Italy, in testing, in qualifying, he was second out of 100 young drivers. He was at that time, I think, 10 years old, something like that, or 11. And then I realized that he was really unique. This is where the story started. And then many other things came, as I explained before. And in the end, when you realize that you are winning everything, the satisfaction is maximum, because you are answering or giving a payback to your sponsors and to the people who has supported you. And so that's why the satisfaction is maximum for everybody, for the family. And we are at this point convinced that he is going to be one of the best drivers in the world, and he will excel, and he will, I'm sure, be in Formula One sooner or later.
Those who reach its purposes are the ones who are motivated to act and take risks and do not fear failure or emotional pain that may lead to.
The most important thing, I believe, that he believes in himself. Not only the people around him that also believe in him, but he believes in him. He's very self-secure. He never showed a weakness in that. And it's, I think, in sports like motorsport, where it's you and a machine, if you don't believe in yourself, you have nothing to do.
For sure, what is important, the drivers need to be the guide of the team. The team by himself cannot win without the drivers. The driver is the one who put the lead, who put, we say, the force, the will on doing something, and that's what Danny was really good. We create a really good atmosphere together. We work really hard. We tested a lot of things, positive and negative, but that's happened and helps a lot to perform in the best ways. Because we work, all the people were working for a single objective, so it was the winning, and we succeed on that.
Being an intelligent guy who I think who really who realizes what is important and what is not, and who is very focused on achieving something better when something hasn't gone well, shows that he's the guy who can be supported, and that he will have a future. And we have seen it when he had his first Formula One test, which was good, despite not being with our team, but you can see the potential. And we supported him because we couldn't have said no, it's a different team, we don't want this, but we want to help him furthering his career. So I think he has many ingredients that you need to have a successful, long-lasting professional career.
Our reward is within the effort. A total effort is a complete victory.